Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Friday everyone, guys. It is 7:30 here in Austin, Texas on a rainy Friday night, guys. It's been pouring, just buckets of rain all day. I had to drive home in rush hour in this rain. It was miserable, definitely, but I had to get here. I had to get home. I had to get in my PJs. I had to get my glass of whiskey and Coke because I got to talk Avengers, guys. I mean, come on. How could you not want to talk about this trailer? It's what we've been looking forward to ever since the end of Avengers Infinity War, right? And that's pretty much what I'm going to do, okay? Avengers Endgame, we finally got the official title for it, and I'm going to start talking about it. You know, chances are I might run a little bit over my normal time. There are other things I could talk about, but check the Facebook group, Twitter account. We could talk about it there, because I have a feeling that I'm going to talk about this trailer for the amount of time an episode is, if not maybe a little more, guys. So let's just get into it. Now, it had been rumored that an Avengers trailer coming was gonna arrive sometime by the end of the year. Kevin Feige himself confirmed it. We'd heard Wednesday there was gonna drop on Good Morning America, but with President Bush's funeral set back a little bit, so then they said, okay, Friday it's gonna happen. And what we have is really weird. I don't know what Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios is doing, but in a week period, you're going to have a trailer drop for all three films that Marvel Studios is putting out in 2019. Monday, we got our second Captain Marvel trailer. Today, we got our first Avengers Endgame trailer. And then tomorrow, we're supposed to get our first look at Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, that film doesn't even come out till July of 2019, so we're 8 months away from that. I don't get the point of that. I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, obviously, it's the holiday season, so when people go to see the holiday movies, that's when you want, to show them what's coming for the summer. I totally get it, but I think it's a little too soon for Spider-Man, given the fact that Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame is still yet to come. And I think Marvel had every intention of going Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, but because Wednesday got messed up, they had to push it back, and they're not going to move, the Spider-Man trailer, which is fine. I'm looking forward to seeing it and checking it out. So, just to kind of clarify, Monday, of course, was the Captain Marvel trailer, and I talked about it on Tuesday's show, about how I thought it looked okay, but I'm not a big Captain Marvel fan. And I think I watched it maybe twice, and that was it. Then the Avengers trailer came, and this morning, I was going to take my daughter to school, as I always do, and I hop on YouTube just real quick because I'm like, okay, well, it's supposed to drop around 8 o'clock, around my time. So it was almost 7:30. I went on YouTube and there it was. So we walked out the door maybe about 5 minutes later than what we normally do, but she still got to school on time. So I call that a parenting win. And then I watched it several times before I went to work. I've watched it a couple more times since then. To be honest, I'm excited for it, because it's the Avengers, because Infinity War was so good, because the MCU was so great. That's why I'm excited for it. I watched Captain Marvel a couple times, but I didn't get excited for it, just because of the character and the history, this is her origin story. If this was like, say, the third Captain Marvel movie, and I knew the character well and I liked her, I might be more excited. But because it was the second Captain Marvel trailer where a character we haven't seen in the MCU, we don't know what she's like, we don't have a history or an attachment to her, maybe that's why I wasn't excited at all. But the Avengers Endgame trailer, I loved it. And the great thing is, it's a true teaser announcement trailer where it lets you know when it's coming out, kind of what the mood is of the movie, and I like it. I cannot wait for the full trailer, or really the second trailer. What they need to do is, of course, set up the storyline. That's what a good second trailer does. I'm sure we're going to get that probably February. I don't think they're going to hold off till March for that. I'm going to think probably sometime in February they'll drop that. They're not going to wait till Captain Marvel to do that because they only got 2 months till the movie from then. But I will say this before I go down and break down the trailer. I'm very surprised Captain Marvel wasn't in this. I was talking Tuesday about, even for me, I'm not your average moviegoer, to say the least. I think we can all agree on that. I think because Captain Marvel is so unknown, you need to use her in the marketing for Avengers Endgame to pump up Captain Marvel. The way people are going to get excited about Captain Marvel is if you hype her up in Avengers, because everyone's going to see Avengers Endgame, no doubt. So you need to use that to build momentum for Captain Marvel. So, granted, of course, like I said, if this was a teaser trailer, announcement trailer, whatever to call it, I can see why they didn't. With this one, they definitely focused on our core Avengers, our characters that survived the snap. So, I get it. But they really have to utilize Captain Marvel in the Avengers trailers, I think, if they're really going to get a good return on Captain Marvel. And that's my point of view. That's just what's going on in my head. All right, guys. So I'm going to break it down. Just a couple things about the trailer I want to talk about. You guys fire back on the social media accounts and Gmail account. Let me know if you think I'm, speculating wrong, if my theories are totally out of whack, if you think something else is going to happen, let me know. So we open the trailer with Tony Stark, and he's in space, and it looks like he's actually on the Guardian's ship, which I believe is now called the Benatar. Star-Lord's original ship was called the Milano, based off his childhood crush, Alyssa Milano. But then that one got destroyed in Guardians, and he got another one, and from what I know, it didn't get destroyed in Infinity War because Star-Lord, Mantis, and Drax, they flew it to Titan. They were there. There was a battle. It might have been damaged, of course, but I'm sure Tony fixed it up. He's there with Nebula, which we see later on in the trailer. Nebula, and it looks like she's on the ship as well. So my guess is that they're in space. They're trying to get home. Maybe the ship's been damaged enough, like I said, from the battle, that they can't make it all the way back home. My guess, I'm going to go ahead and say it, I think Captain Marvel comes in to rescue them, or maybe some other cosmic character that we know will come and rescue him. But in this one, Tony is talking or recording a message for Pepper, and I gotta say, I really like that this is the 20-something film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we're still holding together what I would call, or what a lot of people have called, Marvel's first couple, or the MCU's first couple, which is Pepper and Tony. Going all the way back to the very first film, Iron Man, the two of them together, their relationship, how it's evolved throughout the MCU, and also how he left things with her in Infinity War, because the first scene there, he's talking about how he had a dream that she was pregnant. She said, no, no, no. And he's going up into space, and he's trying to, talk to her, and Pepper's, of course, in distress for what he's done, and I feel like, she gets cut off from actually telling him that she is pregnant. So I have every, inclination that I think Pepper actually is pregnant. Again, some people believe that too, but that's what I think. So, but he's recording a message for Pepper, and it's sweet, It's letting you know their bond, that it's lasting. It's lasted all this time, all these years, and I think it's a good, just callback to the beginning of it all. I will say though, I don't know what's going on with his chest, because he's got the Iron Man piece in his... Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. I'm thinking weird. That's the nanotech. That's right. I was like, wait a minute. Didn't he not need that anymore? Didn't he get taken out in Iron Man 3? And I forgot. That's just the nanotech he's wearing. So that's what it is. And of course, this line that he says here, don't feel bad about this. Part of the journey is the end. And I feel like it's kind of a tagline for the film. Of course, they came out with the title Endgame, and the Russo brothers had said that the title for this Avengers film had already been said in a previous film, referring back to the last one, Infinity War, when right before Doctor Strange got dusted, he said, this is the Endgame. So, and it makes sense too, because really, this is it. This is the culmination. Infinity War was all the characters coming together that have been built up throughout all the other MCU films, but then this is taking, I think, kind of a resolution to all of it. Obviously, it's not the end, because we know Spider-Man happens after this, Guardians 3, and other films will happen after this. This isn't the end of the MCU, but I think it's the end of, the story that has been building ever since the first Avengers film and even through Iron Man. Next one I want to talk about is going to be the Thanos shot. So, not the one of his armor and the Scarecrow, which is fine. I'm talking his gladiator shot, which is his hand going through like the wheat fields or whatever on his farm. If you remember the film Gladiator, there's a scene like that in it. But I thought about it first. I didn't think about it, this morning, but I thought about it on the way home too. Remember, the gauntlet, his hand, got fried. If you remember looking at it at the end of Infinity War, his hand got fried, his arm got messed up, he had something going up his neck. I think he is permanently damaged from what he's done, and I'm just trying to look at his hand as it goes through the wheat field, and you can tell it's the glove, and it's pretty much messed up. Maybe it's something where it's like fried to his hand too. I don't know, but just that shot of the fact that yes, he's still indeed injured from what he's done. Maybe he's living out his peaceful life now that he's accomplished his life's goal on the farm. That's fine, but he's definitely not 100% healthy. Next up, we go back to Avengers headquarters. Steve Rogers sharing a tear, of course, and Black Widow still explaining what's happened to everyone. 50% of all living creatures are gone. Here's what I don't get, though, okay? Follow me on this math. 50% of all living creatures. So, Thanos wanted to do this to create more resources for fewer people, okay? But just speaking from an Earth perspective, obviously I'm on Earth, so I can only speak for Earth. Animals are living people. Plants are living things, okay? It's what we eat. If you're taking away half of all that, there's still going to be the same problem as far as food consumption. Maybe, of course, oil and minerals and all that, there's going to be more. But if the food, from an Earth population perspective, is still cut in half, don't we still have pretty much the same problem? Maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know. Next shot, of course, we got Dr. Banner. So this is an interesting shot because, first off, there are pictures of people who they think have disappeared. And we had a picture of Peter Parker. Shuri, Black Panther's sister, we didn't know actually disappeared. We thought she survived. Turns out, I guess she didn't. And then there's a shot of Scott Lang, which they're assuming has disappeared because they can't find him. I'll get to that in a minute. But then let's talk about Bruce for a sec, okay? If Shuri's gone and Tony's in space, it stands to reason that Bruce is one of the smartest people, if not the smartest people, on the planet, at least that they know of. So the rest of the team is probably looking to him to try to help solve this problem, to try to find a way to bring everyone back. On top of it, he's got his own issues dealing with the Hulk, and the Hulk not wanting to come out, and their whole dynamic change. So that could something be really interesting for Bruce. I mean, there's a shot where he, puts his hands in his face. It's just, there could be something there. We got a shot of Thor in clothes looking kind of mean. We got a shot of Nebula. Like I said before, I think she's on the ship with Tony, and they're running out of supplies. And then, of course, I would say what probably is the money shot of the trailer, which is Clint Barton, a.k.a. Hawkeye, but he's in his Ronin comic book costume. Now, for those you don't know, Ronin is Clint Barton at the end of House of M. Well, let's go back. In Avengers Disassembled, Scarlet Witch goes crazy and basically kills some Avengers. One of them she kills is Clint Barton. She reshapes reality. We get House of M. When reality changes back, Clint Barton comes back, not as Hawkeye, but as a character known as Ronin. And for a while there was a mystery about, who Ronin was. Turns out it was Clint Barton. Let's just, call it as is. He's in the street killing, looks like Japanese mobsters when Black Widow finds him. He's lost his family. If he hasn't lost all of them, he's probably lost quite a bit of them in the snap, which is why I think I said this earlier on social media, because of the snap, he himself has snapped. Okay, he's out killing people, doing whatever, and he's not the same guy. Especially when the part says we lost part of ourselves. Obviously, I think that is definitely referring to Clint and what he's lost. His best friend comes to find him and try to comfort him, and she finds a broken man. We got Black Widow and Cap. Cap in his Winter Soldier costume. Love it. That's my favorite costume of his. And he's looking at his compass of Peggy Carter. So here's my theory, okay? At least something that is probably not actually likely. My far left field theory in regards to it all. Cap looking at his compass with his picture of Peggy. Obviously, I think the person who probably meant the most to him in his life. When was the last time we saw this compass? I'm trying to think. I thought about it. We didn't see it in Civil War. We didn't see it in Winter Soldier. I think the last time we actually saw the compass was in the first Avenger. And the last time we saw it is when Cap was about to sacrifice himself to save people. My prediction, same thing's going to happen. I think he's going to do something that's going to sacrifice himself to save everyone else, and he's going to put that compass right in front of him as he does it. That's just my theory. I'm about 95% sure I'm wrong, but that's the wild theory I'm going with as of now. And I love this line, of course, where she's talking about, this is going to work, Steve. And Steve's like, I know it is, because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't. True Captain America line right there, always trying to save people. And, he's probably torn up so much because he knows after what Thanos has done after the snap, there's nothing he could do. He's not smart enough to figure it out. All he knows how to do is to lead and to fight. Those are his strengths, right? So this is all he can do. So he's just torn up that he can't save these people. I always loved it, characters like Captain America or even Superman, where they know people look to them for hope. They look to them to lead, and they can save so many people, but they can't save everyone. And it's the people they don't save that they can't help that keeps them up at night, that tears them up. And that's, again, a reason why I love the characters of Captain America and Superman so much. And then, of course, the logo scene, Avengers, Endgame. We get it. That's awesome. And then this last part here with Ant-Man. So, let's remember, end of Ant-Man and Wasp. I think it's the mid-credit scene. It might be the post-credit scene, but I'm pretty sure it's the mid-credit scene because Marvel has done is in their mid-credit scenes actually made them something, and their post-credit scenes are usually throwaways at the end. But anyway, Scott shows up, and in the mid-credit scene of Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's going to the quantum realm. And one thing I took away from it was the fact that Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Janet, was talking about how the quantum realm, there I finally spit it out, messes with time. He goes in, and while he's in there, the other three get dusted. He finds his way out. First thing he does, of course, is tracks down the Avengers. And the line, of course, we met a few years ago at the airport in Germany. I got really big, in true sense of fashion. He shows up, and Steve's like, wait a minute. We thought he was gone. We thought he got dusted. But here he is. And they want to figure out where he was, why he didn't get dusted, figure it all out. And there have been pictures of the set of Avengers 4 where the original Avengers were back in time at the first New York battle with Ant-Man. I think this time travel thing's going to happen. I think Ant-Man is the key, of course, to it all. Sure, Captain Marvel's going to show up and kick some ass, but I think the true part of it all, especially Kevin Feige, I think it was Kevin Feige himself who said, yes, Ant-Man and Wasp is vital to Avengers 4. And as soon as I saw that post-credit scene in Ant-Man and Wasp, I knew that's what it was. So I think Scott Lang's going to show up, talk about the quantum realm, and they're going to find a way to go back in time and fix everything. And that is Avengers Endgame, at least in my theory, based off this teaser trailer that really didn't give us that much. We don't know the true story. All we know is, of course, people are sad. They've got, what's it called? Survivor's remorse, I guess you would say. I just can't wait for this. April, just like they did in Infinity War, they announced it for beginning May. Now it turns out we're getting it at the end of April, and I'm just super excited, guys. It's everything that I could dream of when I was a kid. Really is MCU is the same as Marvel Universe reading comics, and the fact that Kevin Feige and the guys at Marvel Studios, or girls, have done this is just amazing. I can't believe it's real, to be honest, guys. I can't believe I get to live in a time where, the comic books that I read are now major blockbuster films and are just doing so well and just so great, and they're being accepted by everyone else. It's an amazing time, definitely. So I'm just joy for it all. So, and that's it, guys. That is my kind of reaction, theory, speculation on Avengers Endgame. We got 5 months to go. It's going to be a hell of an April, I'll tell you that. I got Star Wars Celebration, we got Game of Thrones final season coming back, and now we got Avengers Endgame for April. It's going to be so good. And of course, I've talked on for way too long, guys, so I do apologize. Thank you for sticking with me, but now it's time for you guys to fire back. Let me know what you think about Avengers Endgame. Do you have your own theories? Do you like my theories? Do you think I'm completely full of it? I know I am, so let me know. Fire back, social media groups, and of course, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. You can find me personally on Twitter and Instagram, Slim, that's SLYM, Dayspring12. And that's it, guys. So if the Spider-Man trailer drops tomorrow, I might do a reaction to that on Sunday. If not, I'm going to save it for Tuesday's show. Okay? I'll let you know. But that's it. Go on with your lives, people. Get out there. Enjoy your weekend. And until next time, may the Force be with us all.